The charting tool provides a quick, easy-to-use, and informative framework for evaluating constituent data obtained from wells at the Hanford site. Within seconds, the tool can be used to examine up to 230 constituents, including water level data, for a single well. Alternatively, the tool can be used to compare the values obtained for a single constituent, including water levels, between multiple wells. When the tool is first opened, you will note that in the default setting, which is to view geochemistry results, the view depicts a large number of colored circles, each containing a number. The circle, together with the number, represents the number of monitoring wells that lie within the area encompassed by that circle. If you scroll with the mouse, these clusters disperse into smaller circles, and ultimately, when the view is zoomed in sufficiently, individual wells. If a circle with a number remains, that represents multiple wells. An individual well is depicted as a blue attribute balloon. In addition, with scrolling into a well to obtain an area of interest, I can also click the plus sign located at the top left of the screen. I can also search for a specific well by clicking in the search box and typing the first few letters of the well. The interface will identify the well. For this first example, I'm going to scroll into well 199B52. Pushing return focuses the view on this well. Clicking on the well reveals a standard menu containing an action item drop-down box that is available for use. Two options are provided in the drop-down box. The first option is to compare multiple constituents for a single well. The second option is to compare a single constituent for this well together with other wells. For the first example, we will compare multiple constituents for this single well 199B52. When the first option is clicked, it pulls out another standard interface for selecting the constituents of interest. Initially, no constituents will be selected. However, clicking in the empty text box that is highlighted Choose a Constituent reveals a drop-down list of available constituents. This will also start to load information onto the screen. Using the common mouse over feature to hover over individual data points, both the sample data and the sample value of the constituent are depicted in the mouse over box. For this example, two constituents are shown: tritium, shown with a light green line, and strontium, shown with a dark green line. Since these constituents have very different concentrations, I can toggle within the legend below the plot, selecting just one constituent to be plotted at a time. I can also zoom in on the time axis, using a left mouse click and dragging a box over the time period that I want to view. If I wish to reset the view to the original extent, I can accomplish this by pushing the Reset View button located at the top right of the figure. In addition to the drop-down menu for finding items, I can also type the first few letters of the constituent of interest in the drop-down box at the top left of the graph. The interface will quickly identify which constituent I am seeking and update the plot accordingly. The second option, available through the graphing tool, is to compare the same constituent or parameter between multiple wells. For this example, we will select the same well, 199B52, but instead select the second option, plot single constituent for multiple wells. Clicking this selection, a graph appears that illustrates the default constituent for this well, which in this instance is pH. To add additional wells to this plot, simply mouse over other wells of interest and select the option Plot Single Constituent for Multiple Wells again. As each well is selected, any data available for that well are added to the plot. In this instance, the first well selected has a long time series of data, while the other wells do not. However, all data for all wells are shown. Using a left mouse click and drag, I can zoom into a time period when there are data available for more than one well, and I can see the sampled values for each well at that time. If I select Reset Zoom, this will bring the plot back to the original extent. If I am happy with the graphic that has been produced, a number of options are available in the upper right corner of the plot to obtain a copy of that graphic. Clicking on this button presents options to print or to download the graphic. Once I have obtained the image that I wanted, I can close the graph and zoom back out, either using the minus sign in the top left corner of the screen or by scrolling the mouse wheel. The view is now looking at the full extent of the combined 100 and 200 areas of the Hanford site. As mentioned earlier, the charting tool can also be used to plot sample chemistry or water level data. Water level data are obtained by deselecting the geochemistry checkbox and selecting the Automated Water Level Network, or AWLN, checkbox. When the AWLN checkbox is selected, the map updates to depict only those wells that have available AWLN water data. As soon as a well is selected, a graph appears that depicts the available water level data for that well. Multiple wells can be toggled on or off to be plotted on the graph. Since water level data are the only data shown, the graph updates very quickly. Here, water level data for two wells are plotted together, comparing water levels in the 100D and 100F groundwater operable units.